Hello, Team DDS, and welcome to the DDS Podcast, where we keep our staff informed, inspired, and connected across the agency. I'm your host, Susan Sports, Public Information Officer for the Georgia Department of Driver Services. Today's episode is a special one as we celebrate Women's History Month, and we're going to recognize the incredible women who help drive the mission of DDS forward every day. Did you know that 79% of Team DDS is made up of women? And 22% of those women have leadership roles across the agency. And our DDS executive team includes 7 outstanding female leaders who help guide our vision and operations. Joining us today is the leader of our agency and a trailblazer in Georgia state government, Commissioner Angelique B. McClendon. Commissioner, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
Commissioner, as the first African-American female commissioner of DDS, what does this milestone mean to you personally, and what message do you hope it sends to the women across our agency?
Well, it's always special to be the first. But in general, I just try to be a good example to people in general. I try to be open and accessible. But I do try to be a good example, at work at all times, even if no one's looking, because it does matter, what you do. That good example, sometimes examples will resonate more with people if they feel like they can relate to you, if you look like them, or if you seem more like them, if you're someone who is more familiar to them. So I think that actually resonates with people. But in general, I just try to be a good example overall.
DDS is clearly powered by strong women, with 79% of our workforce being female. How do you think that influences the culture and success of our agency?
Oh, I think in a good way, right? I think inherently, a lot of us have these qualities that are empathetic and nurturing, and that comes across in our customer service. And it spreads throughout the agency, no matter what gender people identify with. It really, that nurturing spirit, that empathy helps with the customer service and dealing with our customers and helping them through their complex issues.
We also see women stepping into leadership roles throughout the agency, with 22% serving in leadership positions and 7 women on the executive team. Why is representation in leadership important, and how does it impact the future of DDS?
I think representation in leadership is important because in leadership roles, especially when you have multiple leaders and you have such an agency that has such a far reach throughout the state of Georgia, you want to have different perspectives, right? So you don't miss anyone's perspective, because, of course, we're dealing with people and helping people and giving service to people who come from all walks of life, all economic backgrounds, all parts of the state. So I think it's helpful to have representation that represents our customer base, which is the entire state of Georgia.
My favorite question. During Women's History Month, we often reflect on those who paved the way for us. Who are some of the women in your life or career who helped shape your leadership journey?
It'll sound kind of cliche, right? So I do have, some specific mentors who've helped me in my career, who actually helped me get started. But I have to talk about my mother. A lot of you have seen my mother or met my mother, but she's a retired educator. She taught science. As many of you know, I call myself a scientist because I have a science degree, but she taught science for many, many years, for over 2 decades, before she became a counselor, a school counselor. She retired as a school counselor, but I just have my early memories of my mother reading to us. Reading is something that she loves to this day. She loves it. And she would take us to the local libraries. I grew up in Decatur, DeKalb County. So I remember going to Scott Candler Library, which was on Candler Road, in McAfee, in that area. And we would go to the library. We would read books. We had books at home. tried to instill the same thing in my children. But by her being an educator, how we presented ourselves and always being curious was something that was instilled in us. And so no matter what industry you're in or what you're pursuing, I think it's always a good thing to be curious, ask questions, find out, know why you're doing something. So that actually helped us and gave us a lot of confidence. And I think confidence is what matters a whole lot for success in life, in your career, and even personally as well. And I know that my mom instilled that in us. And she's a great, great storyteller. So a lot of the stories and the things, a lot of my mannerisms come from her. She's a talker, never met a stranger. She will ask questions, maybe some she shouldn't ask, but she is a very, very curious woman, even at almost 80. So she turns 80 later this year, but she's definitely one of my top inspirations. And, I'm actually inspired by my own daughter that I've raised, because she's a very assertive and confident young woman. I was not that way at her age. And so I'm very proud of how she operates and how she carries herself.
Well said. For the many talented women across DDS who may be thinking about growing their careers or stepping into leadership roles one day, what advice would you share with them?
I would say always give 100%. Again, even if you think no one's watching, right? Because you don't know who's watching. And I would say, instead of watching, you don't know who's noticing what you're doing. And by noticing, they are noticing your talents. They're noticing if you're a person who they would recommend for something. They're noticing how you handle certain situations. And if there's something that is a need, or if there's opportunities, we take suggestions, right? When we're thinking about who's right for a certain role, that your reputation matters. Again, things you do when people aren't necessarily looking. It's just people notice things. So I always give 100% in your, how you present yourself is important. The confidence you show, and you can build that confidence. I mean, we're not all born confident, but we actually all are kind of born that way. And then the world sort of beats it out of us, right? And so we have to try to work to maintain that confidence. But I think that's super important. It's one of those things where, sometimes you want to run out to the grocery store or something, and you might have on, pajamas, and you're like, I just want to throw on something and go and grab some eggs quickly. But that would be the one time you see your boss, or you see someone or someone you haven't seen in 20 years and won't see for 10 more years, right? So I always think about that when I'm thinking about just sort of not giving my best at something. Like, no, go ahead and put your best foot forward. That's that one time you'll see that person that you never really see, and you want to make a good impression. So I think if you're always thinking and trying to give 100%, of course, every day we might not feel 100%. We might not have it in us. But if that's our goal, then our best foot forward, it'll come across.
Commissioner, thank you for joining us today and for your leadership and commitment to the mission of DDS. And I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, thank you. So I'm just happy to sort of kick off our podcast series again. Happy to be able to reach a lot of team members that, of course, I don't see on a daily basis or even a quarterly basis. So I hope we do have a lot of listeners. So I'm excited for this new beginning. And I'm happy and honored to be in this role. I didn't realize I would be a first when I got the role until someone told me that I was, and then I thought about it, right? And so I'm just happy and excited to be here. And I'm very proud of our team. The more I go out and see our team members in action, the more proud I am of leading this team. So it really is a privilege to be able to be in this position.
And I think we'll end it with that. Thank you, Commissioner, and thank all of you for turning in to our Team DDS podcast. Be sure to stay connected for future episodes. We'll highlight important updates, initiatives, and the incredible people who make DDS such a great place to work. And remember, Happy Women's History Month. Thank you, Team DDS. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.